Good morning. My name is Kristen Dickow, and I have the honor of serving as the SAS Pudong High School Vice Principal. Please join me in welcoming the SAS Pudong High School faculty process in order of seniority, led by Li Ming Ma and Joseph Capilla. Thank you. Please be seated. Before we begin this morning's program, I make the following requests and gratitudes. Please turn off your cell phones completely. Please do not block the aisle to take photos. A professional photographer will be taking photos, and the seniors will be able to get those next week. You are welcome to video, but from your seat only. A professional will be taping the ceremony. The video will also be available next week. We would like to thank the high school parent leaders, Terry Shen, Lily Yu, Helen Shu, Weijie Duan, and the senior parents who worked so hard to support with us for graduation. By preparing the senior gifts, helping with cap and gown photos, arranging the senior luncheon, and let's not forget the junior moms working backstage, while honestly taking notes for next year. The last 18 months have been challenging. All parents, we thank you for supporting our students in so many ways. From watching Zoom performances, mask wearing, hotel quarantine, that was fun, 50-person limit, sending goodies for events at school, and so much more. You helped your student arrive to this day, and we thank you. We thank the SAS graduation backstage team, Sylvia Shen, translator, and everything else, Vicky Huang, slide deck operator, student marshal, Annalie Higginbottom, our tech staff, including Amox Freco, Hodo Zachariah, Jingfang Zhu, and Stephen Feingold. Thank you to all the 12th grade advisors for guiding the students through this year, the college counselors, Mindy Rose, Peter Morgan, and Michelle Barini. And last but not least, head of year, Dr. Mack, for everything she's done to get the seniors to this day. At the end of our program today, our seniors will exit first, followed by the high school faculty. As they do so, I ask you to stand in honor of our graduates and remain at your seats until the faculty and the students have completely left the auditorium. After their exit, please follow them out. As our seniors enter, you will notice some of them wearing gold sashes. This symbolizes their membership in the National Honor Society. You will also notice with an additional sash to indicate their successful completion of the International Baccalaureate Diploma Program. Again, this year, SAS recognizes the academic successes of all seniors. All seniors who have earned a GPA between 3.75 and 3.9 are designated as graduating magna cum laude with great praise, and are indicated in our program with a single star and wearing a red lapel pin. Those with a GPA of 3.9 to 4.0 are designated as graduating summa cum laude with greatest praise. They are indicated by a double star in the program and wear a blue lapel pin. These two groups elected from their ranks are farewell speaker Christopher Shen. And now I ask you to stand in honor of our Shanghai American School Pudong High School graduates, the class of 2021. Class of 2021. Please be seated. Thank you, everyone. I'd now like to introduce our high school principal, Dr. Benjamin Lee.
Board Chairman, Mr. Graham, members of the Board of Trustees, Head of School, Mr. Gauthier, Chief Academic Officer, Dr. Bonin, Head of Campus, Ms. Sergeant Beasley, parents, alums, faculty, students, guests, and friends. What a wonderful occasion it is for us to come together today to celebrate one last time as a community Shanghai American School's Pudong class of 2021. I'd like to open this morning with a metaphor and a quotation from a poem. The metaphor is that for all of us, not just the ancient Greek mythical hero Odysseus, for all of us, home is Ithaca. Odysseus departed from Ithaca to fight in the Trojan War. After a decade of fighting, Odysseus departed the smoldering ruins of Troy to return home to Ithaca. His journey home, the Odyssey, was another decade of adventures, mishaps, detours, accidents, triumphs, and tragedies. Like Odysseus, you all have conquered. You have completed a rigorous and extremely challenging course of academics, and you are now leaving behind your families, Shanghai, and SAS. But this will always be a home for you. Your families, Shanghai, and SAS will always be Ithaca for you. You are leaving now, but you will return someday. That is the metaphor. Now, the poem is C.P. Kafavi's Ithaca. It begins with these lines. As you set out for Ithaca, hope your road is a long one, full of adventure, full of discovery. And it continues, hope your road is a long one. May there be many summer mornings when, with what pleasure, what joy, you enter harbors you're seeing for the first time. May you stop at Phoenician trading stations to buy fine things, mother of pearl and coral, amber and ebony, sensual perfume of every kind, as many sensual perfumes as you can. And may you visit many Egyptian cities to learn and go on learning from their scholars. Now, while you soon-to-be graduates and your parents may be hoping for quick and straight lines from this ceremony to similar ceremonies first in undergraduate institutions and then in graduate or professional schools, please listen again to the poet, Kafavi. Keep Ithaca always in your mind. Arriving there is what you are destined for, but don't hurry the journey at all. Better if it lasts for years. Now, I recognize that for parents hoping for the fewest possible years of tuition payments, this may not be the advice you'd like your kids to hear right now. But for my part, I hope there will be time to wander, time to make mistakes, and time to correct them. You will get back to Ithaca eventually, but don't rush your university experience. Hope your road is a long one. May there be many summer mornings when with what pleasure, what joy, you enter harbors you're seeing for the first time. May you stop at Phoenician trading stations to buy fine things, mother of pearl and coral, amber and ebony, sensual perfumes of every kind, as many sensual perfumes as you can. And may you visit many Egyptian cities to learn and go on learning from their scholars. Class of 2021, take the time for detours, for learning from all the scholars you'll encounter, for sampling the sensual perfumes along the way. It will be very often in those detours, rather than in your main courses of study, that you will find potent and unexpected wisdom and joy. Seniors, today you are graduating as individuals, but you are also graduating as a group, as a class, the class of 2021, 92 soon-to-be alums of SAS. Among you are students who have been stable in your attendance at SAS Pudong for many years throughout middle and high school, in some cases elementary school. We have students who arrived at the start of high school and students who have only been with us for 2 years. Let's take a look at the class of 2021. Here they are in alphabetical order, but let's reorder them in the order in which they arrived. Joining us in the 11th grade were Lola, Bhargava, Silas, Jure, Kennedy, Amelia, Helen, Yvonne, Chewy, and Claire. Coming as 10th graders, Andrew, Haychuck, Tim, and Anna. In the 9th grade, Anna, Ishan, Jessica, Celia, Sophina, Benny, Eric, Matthew, Jaden, Nate, Teo, Harry, Chantel, Nikita, Mary, and Michael. Outlined in blue, these are the students who came to us during high school. Those who came in middle school started in the 8th grade with a big group: John, Roy, Heidi, Millie, Alex, Ryan, Tay, Daniel, Chloe, Jiwoo, Jinu, Andy, Takahiro, Jennifer, and Crystal. In the 7th grade, Angela, Mary, Matthew, Ryan, Emily, Noah, Hayden, Nelson, Usho, Chloe, Carson, Zach, and Joey. And in the 6th grade, Bill, Chloe, and Veronica. So now, you'll see in blue the students who came in high school, and in red, the students who came in middle school. All of the rest spent at least 1 year of elementary school with us. And to commemorate that, as well as embarrass them a little bit, I hope, I'm going to show you the picture from their yearbook in the year they first arrived at SAS. In the 5th grade were Min Soo, Olivier, Christopher, James, Melanie, Bradley, Claire, and Darren. In the 4th grade, Sarah, Charlene, Isabel, Christopher, Jason, and Ethan. Joining us as 3rd graders were Mia, Ryan, Kevin, Avery, and William. In the 2nd grade, Kevin, Alice, and Melody. 1st grade saw only one student joining us, and that was Lewis. But in kindergarten, we had 4 newcomers. They were Alan, Quinn, Jessica, and Debbie. Now, if you can imagine it, these next students joined as 4-year-olds, coming in pre-K4, were Kai and Youngin. And our longevity champions, 3 boys who came to us at 3 years old and have spent the past 15 years in our school: Ryan, Jerry, and Justin. So there they all are, and here back in alphabetical order. And I want to pause here and give special recognition to Caden LeClaire, who is up there, the only one without a cap. He's got a blue tie, second row, third from the left. Caden is the only senior who is not physically present with us today. He's still in the States and was unable to get back to China this year. Now, we love Caden. We all love Caden, and I know you all join me in sending him congratulations across the Pacific Ocean. Caden came to us in 7th grade, and he has the distinction of being the only distance learning graduate of SAS Pudong ever. And much as we love Caden, let's keep it that way. No more distance learning, please, ever. So coming back to the full class of 2021, it's interesting to note that over 80% of this year's graduates were at SAS for all 4 years of high school, and an additional third were at SAS for 7 years, middle and high school together. When you add in our newest arrivals, those were the 10 students who joined us as juniors, and those who came in elementary, plus our 3 pre-K3 arrivers, Ryan, Jerry, and Justin, we have together the 92 members of the class of 2021. Now, of course, students are not the only people in schools, and while it is our 92 graduates we celebrate today, we also know that it is our faculty whose dedication, hard work, expertise, and devotion to their vocation and to our students made possible the educational successes and future opportunities of the students on stage today. Class of 2021, would you join me please in giving a round of grateful applause to your faculty? Thank you. Now, teachers, like students, do need to move on sometimes, and this year we are bidding farewell to 9 faculty members: Sarah Boss, Evelyn Lim, Caleb Lott, Sarah McKenzie, Chris Mangus for a second time, Katrina Mangus, Peter Morgan, Mindy Rose, and Paul Sullivan. I know that you will all join me in thanking these outstanding faculty members for their service and offering best wishes for their next adventures. And of course, there is another group of people here today to whom we all owe tremendous gratitude: parents. Ultimately, it is parents who made it possible for this outstanding faculty to work with these outstanding students. Seniors, we'll be clapping for you very shortly, so please join me in applauding your parents. Thank you, class of 2021, for your inspiring and joyful presence. It has been our privilege to share our school with you for these past 4 years. And now it is my honor to introduce our head of school, Marcel Gauthier.
Good morning, and welcome parents, extended family, honored guests, alumni, faculty, leaders and staff, trustees, and of course our seniors to the graduation ceremony for the Pudong class of 2021 of Shanghai American School. Seniors, I hope these final weeks have been ones of celebration and joy. The senior walk this past week on both our campuses, where the entire faculty and student body, as well as your parents, were able to applaud you, was indeed a special moment. And we arrived today with a wish fulfilled. that you experience a traditional graduation together in person, as you and your parents had always imagined. Did we know it would happen like this? We hoped, we planned, and we built contingencies. Thankfully, here we are. Traditionally, at graduation time, we expect the world to be more fixed, more solid, more predictable. My past graduation speeches have in some form asked you seniors to go out into the world and shake things up a bit, add a little productive disruption. But today, you are the element which is solid, while the world is in flux. It's doing the shaking and disrupting. You have become masters at adapting. You are seniors at Shanghai American School, well-educated, resilient, dynamic, accomplished, and one step away from completing your high school education and heading to college. The irony might appear daunting. I would argue, however, that this is a rare opportunity. It is, in fact, a chance to create the world of what you are and will be a part. The other day, I was watching middle school students during PE engage in some sort of competition in the field. At first, it looked like soccer, and then it looked like handball, and then a moment later, it looked like rugby. Truly, I could not figure out what game they were playing. So I asked the teacher, who replied, "It's kind of a mix of games. The kids made it up. They make the rules as they go." They make the rules as they go. I would argue this is where we all find ourselves today. A new arena where we have yet to make the rules that will allow us to thrive. The questions are ones I'm sure you have considered. How will we reconnect the world, disconnected physically, economically, socially, and experientially by COVID? How will we combine the virtual world and employment on site to create a more fluid and a more productive working environment? How do we ensure that truth, complex, reflective, dispassionate, deeply considered truth, is not lost in a din of social media and fake news? How will we collectively own the global history we have inherited and reduce the hate and violence and exploitation directed at race or religion, gender or sexual preference or social status? The list goes on. And how do we unite countries all around the globe to address global warming? This list goes on, and as I've suggested, it is not new. But it goes without saying that the context in which we respond to these questions is new. At this point in history, we are more than ever aware of the unpredictability of circumstances and the need to unite together around key issues to, simply put, make the world a better place. Class of 2021, you have a chance to use new tools, to make new rules, to play the game differently, to create, in fact, a different game in which winning has new and inspired meaning. This is an exciting opportunity. Given your marked resilience these past 2 years, I'm sure you are ready. Seniors, everyone in this room is deeply proud of you, of who you are, of what you've accomplished, and of what you will accomplish. May you carry with you on your journey going forward a lifelong passion for learning, the commitment to act with integrity and compassion, and the continued courage to live your dreams. May you soar like eagles. Congratulations.
I now introduce senior class speaker, Gr.
They're clapping because they know this is really significant. Dear teachers, parents, administration, families, and of course, all graduates, the class of 2021, and Ivan. Thank you for electing me as your class speaker. As many of you know, I've only been at SAS for a little less than 2 years, but it's been the best 2 years I could have ever imagined. So I've been looking for a way to tell everyone who brightened my time here what being at SAS meant to me, and I guess this is it. To the beloved graduating class, we are brilliant, capable, and ambitious, not just with a record high 42 magna and summa cum laudes and countless APAC awards, but we're brilliant in that we're able to figure out how to terrorize the school with just 500 rolls of red tape alone. Brilliant enough for Jaden to camouflage the "what can I be" profile of one particularly saucy IB diploma graduate outside of Mr. Hayes' office, and for us to collectively figure out the most obnoxious way possible to use a rubber ducky's whistle. As for how capable we are, we can top the trend of senioritis with the biggest surge of overdue assignments, failures, and absences you could have ever imagined. But at the same time, we're also the ones who got into law school, medical school, and the biggest bloodbath of college applications to ever exist. And we're also capable enough to win promposal contests that went through the entire high school with Chris Henschel's impressive Minecraft structure. That is a pride we take as a class of 2021 collectively. And lastly, we're ambitious enough to take the bust of Juno, our mascot, across Shanghai, because we understood as a class full of empathy and heart that Juno is going to miss Shanghai just like us when she can't see it anymore. But at the same time, very characteristically of our class, we may or may not have broken it. By we, I mean Kevin Jiang, and by broken, I mean dropped and shattered. So, like our principals mentioned earlier, we are the class that makes our own rules. So what did we do? We left our legacy behind by trading in Juno with this turtle, leaving our legacy behind like no other class has ever dared to do since Juno has existed since 1917, and that is the class of 2021 for you. But far more importantly than these one-word descriptors that I can come up with at 2 in the morning cramming my speech yesterday night, I think we're also particularly good at making the best out of the worst. As the saying goes, life is not about waiting for the storm to pass, it's about learning to dance in the rain. And no other class is better at doing that than we are. Because nothing exemplifies having a storm in our lives better than having to spend junior year online, the college applications we went through this year, or having to see Daniel and Lindsay in the comments every day to remind you of how lonely you truly are. But But distance learning didn't stop Teo, Ivan, and Joey from having a beard growing contest with all of their teachers through Microsoft Teams. Good luck with that one, Joey. Chloe, Kevin, and Chantel hosted our first ever virtual concert online last year. Despite postponements, William, Bill, and NHS still hosted an unforgettable relay for life. And Alice, Debbie, Ju, and Chewy donated masks to Chicago hospitals when we were all stuck at home when they were in need. At one point, Teams meetings became our lifelines through which we remembered that there was still a world outside. And although nobody wanted this to be how we socialized junior year, it brought us far closer than any other class. For proof, look at how we've won every Spirit Week contest since we came back that Actico and Sofina has hosted. Look at how when we terrified the Cheesecake Factory waiters on senior skip day because we all wanted to sit together by creating one super long table. And we've gotten to, quite literally, dance in the rain after prom at 3 a.m. And although that wasn't the quintessential picture-perfect way we wanted to end our high school journey with, it was a perfect moment nonetheless. Because by then, we've embraced the idea that the perfect lasts we had looked forward to end our high school journey had all turned into strange firsts that punched us in the gut sometimes. But when everything else fell out of consideration, we remembered what made these moments valuable in the first place. Every year, graduation speakers congratulate their class on weathering the storm, making it past. But class of 2021, we made damn sure that we danced in and had the absolute times of our lives. Adversity brought out the strength and kindness in us, and there's so much to be proud of. I appreciate this class beyond anything I could ever express in words, so I'll break it down into parts. Thank you to those who gamed every lunch no matter how many times Miss Dickhout yelled at us to be more productive. To the Among Us games we had, because in a school where we can leave our phones and laptops unattended in the tables, we needed something to give us those trust issues for us to grow up. To those who made monkey noises, even with bananas, in the commons, even though Mr. Hayes yelled at us, because we understood that there were only so many days left until we had to part our ways and say goodbye to each other. To those who ingrained poggers, true, drip, cringe, and epic cringe into not only our lexicon but into our core identities, so that none of us can properly communicate ever again in college. And we may not have any friends, so we will stick very, very close together. We don't know where our next few years are going to take us, but we will figure it out, and we will succeed, because we will fight for ourselves as hard as we fought to raise those 92.49s at the end of a semester. But this fight wasn't ours alone. To parents, siblings, families, both in the audience and online, thank you for raising us. Getting us on this stage was nothing short of a miracle. Thank you for pulling us out of bed on those mornings we wanted to give up, and thank you for celebrating the smallest of things with us when nobody else would. In the blink of an eye, your little eagles are all flying away off to college or the army, but no matter how far away from home we are, we promise we'll call and remain forever grateful. And now is probably not the best time to tell you this, but your kid probably did not show up to half of their classes last semester. But hey, we still graduated, so it's okay. To teachers who put a human face on a daunting 4-year experience, who show up at 5 a.m. on campus to give us additional opportunities, who then stay after school to cheer at our games so players never face empty bleachers, who go on about way more than necessary information about the apartheid in South Africa to prove why we need to act as agents for change and inspire us. And to those who could have chosen to be anywhere else in the world but chose to come here to teach us what to do when your college roommate pees on your bed, and which duck image do you relate to today the most from 1 to 9. But in all seriousness, to teach us that our progress and personalities were far more important than anything else. And for sticking with us through distance learning and immense senioritis. And for that, we probably owe you more than just thank yous. We owe you sorries as well. Sorry for not saying all those thank yous soon enough or earlier on. And also for sometimes not replying to your messages on Teams. I want to end this speech telling you 2 things. 1, that everything does happen for a reason. Unless that something is choosing IBD, for which there is absolutely no explanation, and you just did that to yourselves, I'm very sorry. And secondly, and I mean this one for real, I hope we all have gratitude and a fighting spirit. Because as our principals have already said, in a world marked by hatred, violence, resentment, exacerbated by pandemic, I hope that we all take a little bit of SAS with us to take the identity debates we had in our class chat and turn it into actual missions and advocacy and protests. We were the year that finally broke the gender and racial pattern of elected faculty graduation speakers, and we will each take a bit of that trailblazing spirit with us when we go. Because as the world gets turned on its head, it'll need somebody like us. When life is good, we know to show gratitude for the simplest of things. And when life isn't, we'll still dance in the rain and have our best times, just like we did here. Which means we're basically ready to go out and conquer the world, right? Like that's hard or something? Congratulations, class of 2021. We made it. Thank you. And now I welcome to the stage the valedictorian for the class of 2021, Chris Shen.
Good morning. A few days ago, I finally decided to confront the hopeless task that I had been putting off: cleaning my room. As I was hours deep into flipping my drawers and shelves upside down, sifting through loose sheets of paper, I realized just how much, for lack of a better word, stuff I've kept around with me over all these years. Some might call this unfettered collection sentimental. Others may point to it as a bad habit. Regardless, I thought I'd begin the couple of minutes I have with y'all today by taking a look back. And what better way to do that than in the most kindergarten-esque fashion possible: a show and tell. So, beginnings. Freshman orientation. On the first day of high school, as we waddled around campus with our link crew leaders, I bore this exact name tag on my chest. Names are an interesting social convention. When we begin something or join a new community, we often patch them onto ourselves, and they serve as one of the first impressions that people make of us. Hi, my name is Chris. However, as time inevitably progresses, names also transform alongside us. Graduates, regardless of how small or significant of a moment it was, I am confident that there has been a time in the past 4 years where your name became more than just James, Mary, or Celia. Maybe it was when you left the entirety of campus in awe when you took to the stage of the Chinese New Year Assembly or Pudong Rocks, when you showed out at that one club meeting or Friday Night Lights, or simply got a nod in the hallway for something. 92 names make up the figures that are in caps and gowns today, each one of which tells a different story and has left a different legacy. There is good reason why we don't wear our names on our chests anymore. We have personified. Airplane. To be quite frank, a ticket like this one is pretty unassuming in itself. Well, on February 24th, 2019, it was quite imperative that I knew that I'd be boarding at gate B7, but the true value of the slip of paper and ink rests on the weekend around it, when I mentored, laughed, and grew up with a group of students as we put on our suits and ties for a conference in Singapore. Despite the intermittent engine hums that seep through classroom windows or provide background noise to outdoors events, I've always found it fitting that our campus is situated right below a landing path to Pudong International Airport. Our immediate physical context at the intersection of international travel mirrors the unique set of experiences that we've garnered. We're fortunate to say that we've traveled to Korea for theater or to Japan for volleyball, and yet we've also learned to savor every moment that we have with each other, knowing that this environment and the people that make it are ephemeral. Of course, I cannot talk about physical contact without talking about home. Every so often on the 5:30 bus, you might have caught a glimpse of the cityscape glistening in the evening glow. We are intrinsically shaped by the places that we live and breathe. And I know that many of us are proud to have the two words Shanghai in our Instagram bios. And finally, the green light. When I dug up this notebook with my scribbles on F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby that we read in English 10, I recalled just how much time I poured into making sense of the novel. From this one page of chapter 2 notes alone, what was the significance of the eyes of Dr. T.J. Uckelberg, or the fact that George Wilson is described as anemic? Even back then, I knew that I didn't have to, and I couldn't find all the answers by myself. Community is an abstract word, but to me at least, a partial definition of one is a place where people's minds and ideas converge in free-flowing conversation and expression. Of course, this takes place as we've analyzed the literary devices and borne back ceaselessly into the past, but it also reflects elsewhere. It's exciting just to walk into the comments every morning, waiting to hear what comments are to be made about the hottest internet debate, or that new song by Radiohead, Driver's License. Like the green lights, the true nature and answers behind some of the discussions and questions that we ask may long exceed our grasp. For the past 4 years, though, I've lived for every moment listening to the amazing opinions, twists, and spins you guys have all put onto them. There are so many objects that I've excavated that I could also talk endlessly about. The handbook from our 2014 fifth grade elementary school graduation. The program from Pudong Rocks of sophomore year. This loose laminated ice cream ticket. And of course, this. Each one of them serves a purpose and reflects something that is volumes larger than their original intent. They are artifacts of sorts, items and mementos that open windows into feelings, goals, changes, and experiences that have defined our time at Shanghai American School, Pudong. Friends, a lot of the ethos surrounding this week and today's ceremony is about monumental change and once-in-a-lifetime occasions. If you do find yourself having a spare moment and flipping through your room in the near future, though, I'd encourage you to pause a little before setting something aside or throwing it into a cardboard box. While today is a well-deserving celebration of all the achievements that we made and large leap forward, high school was also about the loose, small, fragmented moments that pieced together each day and strung together for years. With each object that you place neatly on a shelf or lost in the back of a drawer, you might find yourself recalling a specific outing, a joke somebody made, a particular day in class, or a fleeting moment in the cafeteria that might have escaped your recollection. Hold on to that. Tomorrow morning, as we watch the sunrise on the Bund, will likely mark the last time we stand together as a high school class. With the cascading changes that come with growing up and moving away from home, keep the small things close to heart. Thank you for your time. I would now like to welcome Chantel Wong to the stage.
Hello, family, teachers, faculty, administration, and friends. My name is Chantel Wong, and I've been given the honor to introduce our faculty speaker, Ms. Amanda Young. Having had Ms. Young for my biology teacher for 3 years, I had no hesitation to accept this offer. My first memory of her was joining her biology 10 class 2 weeks late. I didn't expect that my late enrollment would lead to so much time spent with Ms. Young. All good though, because Ms. Young is an excellent baker, seeing as she periodically brings her students baked goods. She is also some sort of time management wizard, because I don't know how she manages to teach 3 subjects, be supervisor of 2 clubs, lead a link crew, and coach girls rugby. I also had Ms. Young for my advisor, so we spent a lot of time together last May when school reopened after the COVID-19 lockdown. At the time, the only places we were allowed for the morning and lunchtime breaks were our advisor's classrooms. Miss Young helped my advisory crew bond through this by chatting with us about our home lunches. I'm going to miss the way she sees herself and connects herself through our food, whether it be Cantonese or Taiwanese. Miss Young has also always been a strong supporter of her students' biology endeavors. I can recount each time she's helped us with our dying plant project, or been passionate, or supported our passionately competitive Kahoot games during review periods. She even assigned us a project to do a presentation on whatever topic related to biology we wanted. The resulting presentation topics ranged from the evolutionary basis of cannibalism to a hip-hop rap about stem cell therapy. To sum it up, Miss Young is quite like her favorite Nintendo character, Kirby. Not because she's pink, round, and floating entity, but she is cheery and positive. She greets everyone she meets and does not harbor dislike. But most importantly, she cares deeply about her students and is intent on helping others so much she goes out of her way to do so. It's easy to say that Miss Young has and will leave a positive and genuine impact on her students. Thank you.
Thank you, Chantel. Welcome to parents, my fellow colleagues, and class of 2021. Foremost, I'd like to express gratitude to this community. I'm grateful for the opportunity to speak with you, grateful that I am able to do the work I love, that I am healthy and vaccinated, and have been able to continue with what is a pretty normal life here in China. It is an honor to be invited to share the stage with Shure and Chris, and with you as graduating students. I, like many of you, began my own SAS story 4 years ago, and it has been quite the journey. I'd like to acknowledge the privilege I have to work with talented students and devoted teachers. And while I am not a seasoned journalist, poet, historian, or scientist, like some of my colleagues, and cannot share inspirational anecdotes from a life outside of education, I am extremely proud to call myself a teacher. And I will speak to you about what I have learned on my journey so far and what I know. Hopefully some of it will resonate and allow you to find success in your future endeavors, whatever they may be. Today I want to encourage you to explore your identity, treat others and yourself with kindness and patience, and act with integrity. Let's begin with identity, and more specifically, my identity as the faculty speaker today. I know that I am the first non-male in 10 years to be selected as the faculty speaker at graduation, as well as being a non-African, non-European, and non-American person. In the last 10 years, I am just the second woman and the first person of Asian ethnicity and heritage to be the faculty speaker at graduation. While I am proud of these identifiers, they form just two parts of my still evolving identity and story. You, class of 2021, will soon add the identity of an SAS alumnus to your complex story, which might shift your own perspective about who you are and who you can be. I also count myself a friend, sister, daughter, partner, runner, science teacher, female, all facets of my identity. But for today, let me focus on what is commonly referenced as a CBC, a Canadian-born Chinese person. This identity, just like the others I mentioned, can be laden with expectations and assumptions. So before you have the chance to consider what Canadian-born Chinese might mean, allow me to explain what it means to me. I am a person of Chinese ethnicity and heritage, with my main connection to Chinese culture rooted in my family's experience, grounded in food and ancestor worship. I speak Cantonese as a family language, but I am only fluent in English. To some people, this makes me just as Chinese as anyone else, and for many others, not Chinese enough. I am first-generation Canadian, as both parents were born in China, and I was born and raised in Toronto. I completed all of my formal schooling in Canada, but left immediately upon graduation to teach, working in the countries of Colombia, Bulgaria, and now here in China. I've never lived in Canada as an adult, yet sorry is pretty much every other word that comes out of my mouth, and I do celebrate Canadian holidays of Thanksgiving and Canada Day. As I described earlier, I know that to some, this makes me very Canadian, and at the same time, not Canadian enough. When I was a student like you, on a regular day, I would bring my ham and cheese sandwich, cookies, and apple to school, and come home to eat Chinese food for dinner, switching mid-sentence from Cantonese to English when discussing the events of my day. For a long time, I asked myself, when am I Chinese enough? When am I Canadian enough? And who makes that decision? While I now know that whatever I am is truly enough for all situations, questions like this are a real and consistent part of my life. And what I have learned and come to realize is that you make that decision. In my case, my identities of being Chinese and Canadian can and do coexist, informing how I see and present myself. I know that not everyone sitting in this room identifies the same way I do. And so whatever your identities may be, you decide when and how to live them. Code switching may be normal practice for you, or a skill you will develop in the future, particularly if you identify with a range of racial, ethnic, and other backgrounds, or if you have lived internationally for a long time and feel well integrated into a variety of cultures. As you take your first steps into life beyond SAS, ask, how do you see yourself? What identifies you as an individual and who you want to be? As Dr. Alan Fan mentioned in our advisory presentations, you get to introduce yourself to the world. Who do you want to be as you step away from SAS? Be an explorer. As I have mentioned, identity is something that you develop for yourself, and the only way to do that is by allowing yourself to explore unfamiliar settings. That means intentionally putting yourself in situations where you might feel uncomfortable. And no, I am not saying dangerous, because safety is always a top priority. But a new situation that you might feel some discomfort. Take a risk, go to that club meeting or intramural sport practice. Attend the culture nights put on by community and student groups. Or ask the professor about their research if it interests you. To quote Lovie Ayayi Jones, fear has a very concrete power of keeping us from saying and doing the things that are purpose. Do it anyway. Do it anyway, because you never know what initiating conversation might lead you to. And as you choose to explore different friends, classes, interests, and cities, and much more, explore with gratitude, for you have the choice in this life to choose how you want to lead it. And many of our fellow citizens on this planet do not have the freedom to make the same choices as you. Choose wisely and be honest to yourself and others. On that note, be kind, please, and thank you. No one will complain that you are too kind, and you can demonstrate kindness every day through your compassion towards others. It is really important to remember that every single person is going through something you have no idea about. So give them a break. And consider, while you can't control how someone might behave or speak to you, you can control how you will react to a situation. And choose to act with empathy and patience. It takes much more time and energy to repair a relationship than it does to take a breath, step away, listen, or provide an encouraging word. While kindness is something that we practice with others, it's just as important to be kind to yourself. This is where kindness and patience are intertwined. For example, to say that all of us have been in some way negatively impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic would be an understatement. And while I know that many of you have thrived in the last 2 years, many more of us have just been surviving. As we consider how to navigate our lives against a backdrop of health-related issues and racial injustices. So give yourself the time to pause, think, and decide how to act to move forward with kindness. Kindness can manifest itself in many different ways, and sometimes as trouble. As the late John Lewis said, we must never, ever be afraid to make some noise and get in good trouble, necessary trouble. When necessary, I urge you to get into good trouble. Sometimes things happen and we need to accept and move on, while others require us to take action. I call on you to have exactly 0 space or time to accept hate in any form. Discrimination, bullying, xenophobia, racism, the list unfortunately goes on. Hate is a real and contagious virus that plagues us today, and I encourage you to educate yourself to the disparities and injustices that exist in this world. We can attempt to combat this hate if we aim to act with integrity. For me, this means a consistent commitment to learn and do better, to ask questions, and be willing to correct yourself. Integrity is doing what is necessary and speaking up for yourselves and others, especially those voices that may have been silenced in the past. We do not live or act in isolation, and certainly your education now and in the future is not meant to be an act of isolation. Pursue others' opinions and perspectives because it not only serves to make you stronger, but is a way to create common understanding. To do this, we must first consider our own biases and try to understand how our individual identities may play a role in limiting or allowing our ability to see others as complex individuals as well. As much as some may try to convince you, they don't know everything, and neither do you. Stay kind and open to who and what you don't know. To quote from Livia Jones again, comfort is overrated because being quiet is comfortable. Keeping things the way they've been is comfortable, and all comfort has done is maintain the status quo. So we've got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable by speaking hard truths when they're necessary. Use your talents and skills to motivate, elevate, and empower others around you, as their success in no way takes away from your own. It seems both strange and yet familiar to draw attention to this. However, considering the social and political events of the last few years, it would be wrong of me to not make this point. Diversity is a necessity for any community to thrive. As a biology and environmental science teacher, this is a classroom concept that really does exist in the real world. Diversity in identity, be it race, gender, sexual orientation, ethnic or cultural background, age, belief, is all important to developing a more inclusive and resilient community. And achieving this is not an easy nor a quick fix, but it is work that must be done. One could be surprised at the idea that this is a first opportunity for someone who identifies as female and Chinese Canadian to be the faculty speaker at graduation. But the fact is that there is a true lack of diversity in teaching and leadership in international schools, and SAS is among those who have committed to do better. My hope is that in the future, this podium will be shared by all people of genders and different ethnicities. As the saying goes, actions speak louder than words. And my hope is that we as a community can hold ourselves accountable to the goals we set forth. As graduates from Shanghai American School, I hope you will choose to say or do the right thing when it matters and seize the opportunities that come your way. Be willing to embrace your identity and develop your own story. Be willing to start a conversation for yourself and others. You never know what you might learn and how it might impact others. Try your best each day and know that better days await you. Please remember to thank the family and friends who have supported you along the way. And congratulations once again to the class of 2021. You did it, and we are proud of your efforts. Take care of yourselves and of each other. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Young, for your inspiring words. Now we move in to the award section. In addition to recognizing academic excellence, SAS enjoys a long tradition of community-sponsored scholarship awards. For selected seniors, these monetary scholarship awards recognize the importance of service and integrity, academic excellence, leadership, and school spirit. In addition, we present a scholarship for the Eagle Award presented to that senior who best exemplifies the characteristics celebrated by each of the 4 awards. Awardees are selected through a combination of peer nomination, self-nomination through essay, faculty and PTSA representation, review, and selection. In each case, the monetary scholarship award is intended to support the purchase of books and education supplies as the awardee begins his or her university career. Unlike our academic awards, these awards are being announced for the first time today. The first award is our Alumni Award for Service and Integrity, presented in the name of SAS Alumni Association. To present the Alumni Award this morning, it gives me great pleasure to introduce a longtime Shanghai resident, a very distinguished alumni and member of the Shanghai American School class of 1949, Miss Betty Barr.
The SAS Pudong Alumni Award for Service and Integrity is presented to the student or students who, throughout their time at SAS, have demonstrated the ability to make a positive contribution to their community, either within the school or at a local, national, or global level. This year's winner speaks to the true meaning of service and integrity and did not let the pandemic's limitations or new school restrictions with fundraising get in the way of helping others. Organizing fundraising events such as movie night, a live Zoom concert, and a school-wide assassin game to support the Shanghai Healing Home through Operation Hope are some examples of her dedication to service. This student used her experience as a swimmer to support the Will Foundation and volunteered as a teacher leader in training for the SAS Summer Academy last year. She's always going the extra mile to help others. One of her teachers said, "She is and always has been committed to service and ensuring that she always works honestly and gives every endeavor 110%. This year, the award is presented to Ms. Chloe Ng.
Thank you, Ms. Barr. The SAS Leadership Award is presented to a compassionate graduating senior or seniors who have been nominated by their fellow students as leaders. Trusted individuals with purposeful vision that others are willing to follow. This year, we have 2 leadership awards to present. Both awardees have been active as sports captains, executives at the National Honor Society. They both have leadership awards in a variety of service clubs. Both students have put tremendous effort into numerous events to showcase the school's community, which is a testament to their leadership skills. Both students were singled out by their peers as respectful and getting the job done, a force to be reckoned with. Our 2021 Leadership Awards go to Mia Chung and William Jefferson Wong. The SAS Pudong Spirit Award is presented to a senior or seniors who have demonstrated through extracurricular activities an attitude of enthusiasm and support for the greater good of the entire student body. This year, 2 winners received nominations from their peers and have been described as giving 100% to every Spirit Week, Friday Night Lights, organizing pep rallies, finding every way possible to bring together every member of the student body, and sometimes teachers. Who doesn't like Harris getting a pie to the face? The winners always radiate positive energy, and elevate others around them, whether on the field, on the stage, or simply in the hallways. They are two individuals who always have a smile on their face. This year's Spirit Award, Female Power, goes to Sophina Hiblin and Claire Yin. This year's Pudong Academic Excellence Award celebrates and acknowledges the fact that SAS is a school in which intellectual curiosity, personal motivation thrive, and where students are actively engaged in the learning process. This year we have 2 awardees. Each student was nominated by several high school faculty, stating that they are a true representative of responsibility and intellectual curiosity. Individually, one student incorporates her ability to consistently and thoughtfully demonstrate the learning that showcases a mind capable of deep analytical thinking, who also brings a voice to her thoughts with her peers through keen debating skills. The other student uses his passion for music, which has provided him with the opportunity to be a member of the string quartet dedicated to playing for charity events. This student also demonstrates learning such a high quality that it is also used as an exemplar for others. The high school faculty as a whole salute these students for their outstanding dedication work, their amazing curiosity, and intense passion for learning. We take great pride in presenting this year's Academic Excellence Award to Sheree Lay and Louis Shu. One more. Thank you. The SAS Pudong Eagle Award is presented to the outstanding student or students who contributed to enriching the SAS environment in all 4 areas of excellence, represented by the other 4 awards: spirit, leadership, academic excellence, and integrity and service. A classmate wrote of this year's winner, "This person will do great things, I swear." If I had to bet on one person's success in the future, it's this person. I still fail to find anyone as responsible as a leader, as understanding and comforting as a friend, or as humble as a human being. I'm sure everyone can see the leadership positions this person holds, but many fail to realize the amount of work and care this person has for every single task being handled. It is absolutely incredible. If anyone ever finds any hint of notable leadership quality in me, its roots can be found in this person. The student inspires me with their attitude and discipline on a daily basis. Basically, this student is awesome. With a genuine love of personal narratives and histories, this student leads a service learning club that offers to teach English to our IEs, security guards, cafeteria staff, and more. This student builds relationships with each person they interact with. The student probes and inquires to learn about them as a human being and has an innate talent for building connections. This student has been a member of our MUN program since the 7th grade, has spearheaded a project with their fellow members to redesign the curriculum of our MUN, has also been instrumental in fostering and progressing our MUM's team mentorship program, attending sessions with 6th, 7th, and 8th graders and inspiring them to explore and better understand global issues. At university, the student hopes to deepen their understanding and study of human migration, urban immigration, and social and economic inequality. This student has been an effective leader in every venue: classes, clubs, Model UN, student council, athletics, and just in his own thoughtful, stable, engaged presence in our community. This kid is so great. He is a leader, a thinker, a collaborator, a future change maker. I am honored this year to present the Eagle Award to Christopher Shen. I now call the podium our Grade 12 Head of Year, Dr. Celeste McMillan, for awarding the diplomas, and joining her are on stage our board, chair board, Jeff Graham, head of school, Marcel Gay, head of campus, Emily Sargent Beasley, and principal, Dr. Benjamin Lee.
Annabella Biggs. Alan Chang. Sarah Shu Young Chang. Angela Tianyu Chen. John Chen. Mary Chen. Ishan Chen. Mia Chung. Charlene Chen. Matthew Choi. Songhwan Choi. Roy Zhou. Ryan Chuang. Hyukwoo Ryan Chung. Lola Harriet Hooper. Emily Dye. Yunshi Jessica Dye. Heidi Jamile Aaron. Millie Fong. Celia Garcia de Herreros Valera. Noah Giano. Kevin Guan. Bhargava Guntupalli. Isabel He. Christopher Henschel. Sophina Lise Hiblin. Silas Hicks. Kai Chen Shu. Ji Yoon Sung. Kevin Jiang. Ryan Park Kaiser. Min Soo Kang. Tae Hoon Kim. Shuray Lai. Hayden LeClaire. Young In Lee. Benjamin Leong. Chloe Leong. Eric Leo. EGA Andrew Leo. Matthew Leo. Lo Hei Chuk. Kennedy Logsden. Nelson Liu. Alice Liu. Jason Ma. Jaden Majid. Quinn Mangus. Usho Manzawa. Daniel Na. Chloe Na. Amelia Newrath. Chloe Ng. Jiwoo No. Jinu O. Helen Pan. Avery Park. Nate Patterson. Teo Polat. Jessica Yang Pu. Carson Chi. Ivan Rubtsov. Oliver Saltzman. Chui Shang. Tim Shao. Christopher Shen. Debbie Chi Jing Shi. Andy Shim. Anna Snow. Zach Stobbs. Takahiro Toda. Harry Sway. James Wong. Joey Wong. William Jefferson Wong. Chantel Wong. Ethan Kenneth Wong. Jennifer Wu. Melanie Wu. Bradley Shu. Jerry Shu. Melody Shu. Nikita Shu. Crystal Yang. Veronica On-K Yao. Claire Yuan Min Yin. Claire Elizabeth Zaleski. Darren Zhang. Mary Manru Zhang. Michael Zhang. Justin Zhou. Louis Zhu.
At this time, we will present the graduates, and it is my great pleasure now, formally, present the class of 2021 to you, our SAS community, as they move from being SAS students to being SAS alumni. The chair of our Board of Trustees, Jeff Graham, will accept them on behalf of the community, symbolizing their new role and status and signifying that they are no longer students when I tell them to. They will move the tassel of their mortarboard from the right to the left side. This is a centuries-old tradition marking the exact moment of graduation, the end of childhood, and the beginning of an independent young adulthood. Seniors, please rise. Members of the Shanghai American School community, Board Chair Mr. Graham, members of the board, Mr. Gauthier, alumni, faculty, students, and honored guests, I now present to you the Shanghai American School Pudong campus graduating class of 2021. Mr. Graham, on behalf of the faculty of Shanghai American School, Pudong High School, I certify that the class of 2021 has satisfied the requirements for graduation. Will you accept this class?
Graduates, today you've reached a milestone, and we are here to salute you and to celebrate with you. You're here today because of your own hard work and perseverance, and we're proud of all of your achievements. But you're also here because of the support and the guidance that you've received over the years from your teachers and from your families. They share in your accomplishments and deserve our thanks. I am confident that SAS has prepared you for the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. Therefore, on behalf of the Board of Trustees, it is my honor to accept the class of 2021 as graduates of Shanghai American School. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Graham. So now we have two things to do. The first is, class of 2021, you need to put on your masks because when you process out, we all have to have masks on inside the building. When you go outside to take photographs, that's fine, you can take them off, but inside the building, we need to have masks on. So we'll pause for a moment while you get your masks on. Thank you, everybody. All right. Class of 2021, the SAS Pudong community, which has come to honor you today, now sends you out as graduates of SAS. You may now move your tassel. Congratulations to the class of 2021. Faculty, please follow the graduates out. Parents and friends, we ask that you stay until the faculty has left the auditorium. Thank you.